I did a solo show about Owen Casey and Matt Shaw sparking this team. Matt did a solo show about Matt Shaw. Neither were in the lineup, but the Cubs got beat on Thursday.
You are Locked On Cubs, your daily Chicago Cubs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
You are Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Alongside Sam Olber, I'm Matt Cozy. Sam and I are lifelong fans, taking our passion into a discussion with you on all things Cubs. Today's episode is presented by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two at any golf tournament in the US of A. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st. Later, we go around the National League, take a look at the playoff picture right now, how our team's doing the last week or so, preview Cubs Angels. We'll also recap the Cubs' 4-1 loss to the Brewers Thursday. Despite the loss, Cubs did win 3 out of 5 in the series. They won 5 out of their last 7. We start with Wednesday night's report that Kyle Tucker in June suffered a hairline fracture on his hand after he slid into second. It was so sore as he was playing after that. They actually did imaging, so he decided to play through it. It was so sore, so persistent that they did more imaging 2 weeks later, showed his hand was healing. And it's healed now, but his swing isn't. Okay, we'll remind you of the numbers later. But what was really odd about this is that he returned to the starting lineup on Thursday. There's a lot to get to here, Sam. Why did he play Thursday? And maybe more importantly, Owen Casey, but why wasn't Matt Shaw in there?
Yeah, so this is actually an easy. I was concerned going into this how to talk about this, and it's actually easy because it's what we've been saying for a long time now. It just comes down to feel. It comes down to getting rid of the binder and just kind of saying, hey, what's working right now? What's the trend right now? And the trend of the past 2 days before Thursday is that Matt Shaw and Owen Casey on Tuesday and Wednesday were the reason why the Chicago Cubs won 3 straight games and why they had success. And Kyle Tucker, we could sit here and debate. We could debate, and I don't think it does anybody any good. We could debate, was he struggling because he was hurt? Was he struggling because he had to change his mechanics when he was hurt and it worked for a while and then it got him into a bad habit? Was he struggling because he's just Kyle Tucker, he's a human, and he was slumping? None of it matters. At the end of the day, he's struggling mightily and he's hurting the team while playing right now. And the best thing for this team right now is for Owen Casey and Matt Shaw to be in the lineup. And the best thing for this team right now is for Kyle Tucker to sit down, maybe go to Arizona, do whatever he needs to do to get right, because long-term, the Cubs need him to be really good. But right now, he's not. We could have a separate conversation about the malpractice of the Cubs organization on why it took so long to sit him down, if you want to do that. But we already talked about that. We've discussed it on almost every single show. What stood out to me is that the Cubs basically came out, sat Tucker down. Okay, this story broke that his hand, he had a hairline fracture. He was hitting great with the hairline fracture for a month. Then it got bad, whatever. We could sit here and talk about that. Should they have sat him earlier? Fine. But why did he come back after 2 days off when you were winning games, and you were winning games because of a youth movement? I'll tell you why. Because Craig Counsell, Jed Hoyer, and Carter Hawkins, they don't believe in that. They just believe on the projections of the next day. And they don't believe in momentum, and they don't believe in just juice. They don't believe in any of that stuff. That's my answer.
Well, at this point, I expect Tucker to play Friday night in Anaheim. I thought that's where he was going to return anyway. But in hindsight, I wish they IL'd him Tuesday morning and said, all right, we'll see you in 10 days. So make the IL trip retroactive to Tuesday. And he returns for the series opener at the Rockies next Friday. And you could go to back to your home in Florida if you want. You could go to Sloan and AZ, get some work in. You could go to Disney World for all we care. But he's been around all week. No one knows what he's been doing. We don't know. The Cubs know, obviously. But it would, it's even messier if the clubhouse opens at 5:30 Central Friday and they're like, "Yep, IL."
Yep.
What? So after the 2-day rest and then you put him back in, then he goes on the IL. Sam, for me, I do believe I was intentionally misled by the Cubs for an entire summer. I feel like I was tricked.
Elaborate on that, because I don't.
That Tucker had with the organization, but it does let you continue to criticize, if you want, the Cubs' inability to communicate. Not their ability to communicate or be available. They're always available, but their ability to be transparent.
Yeah, this is
first. This was all summer.
This is really complicated. So let me play devil's advocate for a second.
Go ahead.
Tucker gets the MRI, comes back fine. They find out later on it's a hairline fracture. When they find out that it's a hairline fracture, he's raking. He's hitting the ball great.
Right.
Then he starts slumping, and they see that the hairline fracture's already healed. So they're kind of in a place where he's not technically hurt anymore. Jed did come out and say, because this is what happened.
Yeah, but his swing got hurt badly.
His swing got hurt from the injury, and they should have come out when Jed made that comment. That was a few weeks ago. They should have just said, "Hey, you're not right now. We need to get you right. We're going to talk about it. You're right. You know what? Now that I say it out loud, you're right." They should have said, "Hey, he had this little injury. He fought through it. He was doing great. But in fighting through it, he made some mechanical adjustments that didn't work, or that worked early on, but got him into a really bad habit. And now we need to reset and regroup." But, Kyle Tucker also is responsible. Like, he's a really good player, and he got really, really bad really quickly. And it's a whole broken situation. I think the Cubs should have got out in front of it earlier and just took care of it. But I'm also not going to just blame it all on the Cubs. Kyle Tucker's a grown-up. He's a professional. He wants to make a lot of money. And I think he needs to be held a little bit responsible for his slump. But now that I say it out loud, you are right. They should have just said, "Look, it worked great in June. Right around August 6th, 7th, 8th, it should have been like, this is not right. He's not going to hit his way out of it."
Well, and following the timeline, to me, there was some kind of small re-injury, re-soreness, because his performance has just continued to decline.
Right.
That, yes, it's his swing, his mechanics, but he's not. Do we know he's 100%? And then so there's all these factors involved. Remember, he has literally 8 singles, and that's it for the entire month of August.
It's handled poorly by everybody.
And maybe this does prove that the player's stubbornness, the player's team behind the scenes will always win out. Like Dansby Swanson hinted at the convention in January. Hey, I played when maybe I shouldn't have in 2024. So these things happen.
But the organization, a player's going to always want to play. It's the organization's job to take the keys away.
All right, I got one more question on the Tucker situation. We're also going to recap Cubs Brewers and preview Cubs Angels right after this. Today's episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost, perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game, whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day. 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Has anyone in your golf group ever tried to pull off a ridiculous bet, like a crazy wager on a hole or a shot? How did that go down? Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the Bev card. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the U.S. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st. Check out 5-Hour Energy Transfusion today. All right, we're back here on Locked On Cubs. And Sam, I just had one more question about the Tucker situation. I guess what I was wondering throughout the day Thursday is, what is the relationship now between Tucker and the team?
Yeah, I don't think very good.
I had a theory that maybe he feels grateful the Cubs let him tough it out, especially in a contract year. Any ideas there?
No, because I don't understand. Let me just fundamentally look. I'm a competitive guy. Okay. I'm a competitor, but I don't understand the argument of why would somebody with $500 million on the line want to tough it out and want to play hurt and compromise their own numbers. Now I get it. He missed a lot of time last year, but 10 days, what's 10 games going to do?
Well, it's nothing.
It's really weird. I don't think anything's real good there. It doesn't feel great. The Tucker interviews, like I said on my solo show, have been really odd. I know he's not a real vocal, personality, extrovert type of guy, but don't you think it's been even more than normal in some of these interviews?
Yeah, it has.
It just doesn't sound great.
He's been demonstrative on the field.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess for me, we always talk about business. Don't take a problem and make it into 5 more problems. You know what I mean? Like Thursday, why did he play? Fine, Matt Shaw needs some rest. Okay, fine, I get it. He's young, whatever. 5 games in 4 days. But why was Tucker out there today? The Cubs had momentum. It wasn't even a good situation for him. This is what Kyle Tucker, like, you could legitimately make the case the Cubs could have won this game if Casey played. Because if they're tied late or up late, Brazier doesn't pitch. So forget the 2 more runs that he gave up. Tucker misplayed a ball in right field that I think Casey, he showed pretty good outfielding skills so far, especially the game I was at last night, right field. Tucker went 0 for 4. He drew 1 walk with men on. I mean, it was, lines into a double play that was hit 70 miles an hour. Bush should have got back. A couple guys on the corners, nobody out, soft grounder to third. Look, put it to you like this. If Tucker was at the plate in game 1 of the doubleheader and not Casey, maybe the Cubs don't win that game. It's just, I don't understand why they did that. Like, even at the very least, like you said, just wait till Friday night away from Wrigley in a lower leverage environment. Like, this was the young kid series, and it's a shame that it ended that way. And it's a shame that the top story this week isn't the Cubs beating the best team in baseball 3 out of 5 times, because they did do a very nice job.
Yeah, and imagine if they did the 4 out of 5, which would have been a shock entering the week. 3 out of 5, real nice. I do hope that they can hold on to a little bit of momentum they may still have into Anaheim, an inferior club, and they take care of business there because they struggled. They struggled again Thursday, and sure, there'll be ebb and flow, but there's still enough evidence to have concerns about the offense. And yes, they're 10-10 this month, but when are these guys going to be able to turn it around at the same time, if at all? Yeah. Because remember when we talked last month about how they had 4 players producing at nearly star levels, right?
Yeah.
Tucker, Pete, Bush,
gone.
Seiya.
Yeah.
Entering Thursday's game, here are their respective batting averages in August. 148, 159, 185, 228. And they're still 10-10.
You're right.
A lot of that's because Matt Shaw, who Spent the afternoon at Murphy's.
And incredible starting pitching.
Well, it's been phenomenal.
Showed up brilliant again. I didn't think Colin Ray pitched particularly well. I think he was helped by the wind. He walked the park.
That's my phrase.
But, JMO was really good.
Yeah, that was a big story from the week so far.
So it's just, I think they can continue their momentum. So let's talk about it.
All right, Cubs Angels here. This is per Fangraphs roster resource. Neither team, I believe, has announced their starters, Sam, if you want to double check.
Sure.
While we've been on the air. Brown, Anderson, Horton, Soriano, Taillon, Madernos. And it would be a nice rebound quickly if Horton does take the mound at 8:38 Central Time Saturday. Friday's 8:38 as well. Sunday is an odd one, 3:07. Horton starting Saturday, number one, would mean he missed 0 time.
Yep.
It would mean that he bounces back pretty quickly. I hope they don't force the issue. I would guess they wouldn't, right? And they would plug someone else in there if they need to. But I'd be excited to see him return. And again, series openers, people. Can they go in there Friday night in Anaheim? And can they beat the lefty Tyler Anderson? Even if they have Ben Brown make a spot start. Can you beat the Angels on Friday night, set the tone for the weekend? You face a good young starter in Soriano Saturday, but you have a better one in Horton. Okay, then you win 2 out of 3. Then you have dreams of bringing out some landscaping tools on Sunday.
Angels in the outfield.
Yeah.
Did you say that there's a good chance Brown's going to be throwing Friday?
Well, that's the projection. That's a possible projection.
Well, the Bears play at 7:20. If you want to pivot,
no.
I really, if Brown pitches, can they have like a plan? Like
what would you like to see?
Like an opener, or just
take.
It just seems like it's just such a coin flip with him.
Who would you like to open? Drew Pomerantz?
No, because I think the Angels run out Neto and Trout 1 and 3, so you'd probably want a righty to open. But I guess coming off a doubleheader with all the bullpen stuff, they probably won't do that.
They want someone with length for sure.
Interestingly
enough, Javier Assad couldn't be called back unless someone gets placed on the IL.
Yeah, which is probably going to be, would that be Cade, right?
I guess, yeah. Hopefully not, right? But
because they said Assad is with the team right now.
Oh, well, I would have to double check my roster knowledge.
At least I saw a picture of him walking into Wrigley the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Angels are not a very good team. They're basically the exact same team they are every single year. If you think the Cubs have organizational issues, look no further than the Angels of Anaheim. Every year they try and be aggressive, and every year it feels like they have the exact same record. I could be wrong on this, but I believe they actually have the longest postseason drought in all of baseball.
Okay.
I would say I'm about 95% sure. Some guys to watch on their club. They got a good shortstop by the name of Zach Neto. Good speed, good pop. Obviously, Trout's dangerous. I'm
excited to see him in action.
You got to elevate the fastball against him.
Yep.
Because if you miss heater middle to below, he'll get you. But if you elevate it, you could get him out fairly easily. Taylor Ward's had a decent campaign for them. I mean, it's not a very good team. I don't know what else to say.
Shaunawell, he was picked last year or the summer before? He's already up. Has that high
Kikuchi, who I think is a bad matchup for the Cubs, pitched against the Reds. Their last start beat them, so they avoid him. So yeah,
he's been solid.
this should be. I wanted him in the offseason, if you remember.
Yeah.
I don't know how. I actually don't know how solid he's been, but I just
He's been good. Yeah.
You should win this series, and if you don't, it's a problem. I don't know how else to say it. And then you go to a really mediocre San Francisco team.
And it's going to be like 55 degrees.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, they're a really average team, and they struggle at home. And then you go to Colorado. So typically when you go out west, you go, hey, I'm thrilled with a 5-4 trip. Be really nice to come home 6-3 and feel good about things.
That sounds right.
Play the guys that are hot, Craig. Play the guys that are hot. Put the binder down, put the numbers away, and use your eyes and just go, hey, who's playing well right now? Who's going to help us right now? I know that's against every baseball thought. You got to play the guys that got you. You got to do this. I was there. Wednesday night. There's electricity. Right now, it's not a marathon. It's a sprint, Craig. Play the guys that got you there. No.
Let's go around the NL Central right after this. We go around the NL Central right now, really around the NL postseason picture is what I meant. Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers lead the Central, East, and West divisions respectively. Cubs and Padres well out in front in the top 2 wild card spots. The Mets have the 3rd spot right now. The Reds are only 1 game back, though. Cardinals a longer shot at 5 games back. Listen to the closeness of record in the last 10 games for all of these contenders. Brewers 6-4, Phillies 6-4, but they've won 4 straight. Dodgers 5-5, Cubs 6-4, Padres 6-4, Mets 4-6, Reds 6-4. A lot of average happening right there. Cubs host the Padres right now. Dodgers would host the Mets. The 4 or 5 seed would go to the number 1. So it'd be Cubs or Padres at Brewers. The 3 or the 6 goes to number 2. So that would be Dodgers or Mets at Phillies. Sam, you watch a lot of baseball in your free time.
Yeah, too much.
Do you buy my theory there's no great teams right there? As we sit here August 21st, there's no great teams. So what's your look at the picture right now?
I really like Philadelphia. I really like San Diego. I really like Milwaukee. And I really obviously respect the Dodgers. If I'm being genuinely honest, to go through the semantic part of are they great? Maybe not regular season wise, no. But to me, if I were ranking teams that I wouldn't want to face in a 7-game series in the playoffs, I think the first 4 would be National League teams.
Absolutely, yeah.
I wouldn't want to see Philly. I wouldn't want to see the Dodgers. I wouldn't want to see the Padres. The Brewers, ironically, I do think the Cubs match up well with them. And if the Cubs were to win a wild card series in your current projection and they would travel to Milwaukee, I like their chances against Milwaukee more than I do like a Philly. Just because, we've seen so much of them. And look, the Cubs played them 13 times. They beat them 7. And they just took 3 out of 5. When's the last time the Brewers lost 3 games before this series? Like the Cubs, I'm not going to go as far as to say the Cubs have their number. They're 7-6. That's a ludicrous statement. But I think the Cubs are very comfortable playing them. And, the Cubs are really good defensively. And the Brewers really pry off mistakes, and the Cubs don't make a ton of defensive mistakes. And they've had some success against Peralta. They now have had some success against Mizorowski. They had a really good game against Priester earlier in the year when Priester, before he really became what he is now. They did pretty well against Woodruff this week. It's comfortable. I just feel like that series is a coin flip. Whereas Philadelphia, you got to deal with Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo, Suarez. Ooh, no. The Dodgers, Yamamoto, Snell, potentially Glasnow, Ohtani with their guys. Ooh, no. And then San Diego's 6, 7, 8, 9 guys are all real tough. So, I think the Mets are really mediocre. And I thought that for a while, and I never really thought this Giants team was any good. You don't really have to worry too much about them unless they get hot. And then Cincinnati's the team that's kind of lurking there. You like them.
Yeah, we know, and at this point, we're familiar with what the Dodgers are up to. They're not really prioritizing the 162, which is insane to say.
They don't.
In this sport, but they're trying to win 11 games in October. If they could get everybody healthy and on board to win those 11, if they win their division, well, actually, if they're a 3 seed, they'll have to get a couple extra wins. But the point is, they're trying to prep for the postseason, not the regular season.
Right.
And they have margin to do that. I think the Phillies have some margin, and I think the Padres do too. The Brewers have never won in October.
Right.
And we're familiar with the Cubs struggles, and the Mets are underwhelming. So, yeah, we'll see.
I was really impressed with the Dodgers' turn-it-on ability to sweep the Padres last weekend, and I'm very curious to see how the Padres respond this weekend in San Diego.
Yeah.
That'll be a really interesting series. But, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, because the Dodgers lost 2 or 3 to the Rockies, right?
I think they had a 4-gamer and split.
Okay.
I think. Could be wrong. Because they played today.
Okay.
I think Kershaw got another win. Ho-hum for him. Guys, all these
one of the
talks,
best of all time.
All these talks about the Dodgers' arms and this and this. Good old Clayton Kershaw, 8-2 with a 3.13.
All right, we'll be back after Cubs Angels on Sunday. And how about an 8-1 road trip?
Well, that would change the complexion of the entire campaign.
This is Locked On Cubs, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Shout out to Tyson Bagents. Sam, you brought up the Bears earlier. New contract extension. Your team every day. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local
Best
analysis
show,
on a national scale.
Better than Sports
MLB
Center.
Game Night on the Locked On MLB channel on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, we'll be back after Cubs Angels. He's Sam Olber. I'm Matt Cozy. This is Locked On Cubs. Come on.
Shout out to Matt Cozy and Sam Olber, hosts of my favorite podcast, Locked On Cubs.